Hey everyone, kind of winding down at the end of the work day. Wanted to make a little video discussing an interesting subject. Recently, I was reading a book called The Little Green Book of Getting Your Way by Jeffrey Gitomer, who I hope to be interviewing next month for my column in Huffington Post. But in this book, he says a lot of different things about persuasion. One of the last things he says, mainly in the context of sales, but not only, also public speaking and persuasive writing. It's a great book, highly recommend it. But one interesting thing he said is that you should always add value in your follow-up. When you follow up, you sent your proposal, and a couple days go by, you're sitting there, you're getting antsy, you're worried. Did the lead read your email? Did they get the email, or they said they got it? Did they read it? What's going to happen? The key in sales, as anyone will say, is follow up. You can't be timid. You have to, can't be like, oh, well, if it's good enough, they're just gonna respond. You have to. People get busy. People get caught up, and you have to not take it personally, and you have to follow up. I built a lot of my business, got a lot of clients just through follow up. And a lot of times people thank me for that, actually. They say, thank you for staying on top of me, and, this is something I need to do. So one thing he says in your follow-up is you should always add value in it. He's very big on adding value. I am as well, and so are many other people who realize that it's the key to building brand and building loyalty. If you're adding value, it could be in the form of entertainment, in form of helping people use your products or helping people understand different things, answering questions. If you're helping people or you're providing them value in forms of entertainment or inspiration, any way you're doing it, people will want to interact with you more. So I thought to myself after I read it, he doesn't explain how to add value in a follow-up, because a follow-up's a little bit, sometimes it's uncomfortable. When should I don't want to become a pest, I don't want to email too often. He says one thing you should not do, and I will admit I personally was guilty of doing this, is just sending an email or a text being like, so do you have any questions for me about the proposal? Now, I think it's okay to ask that, but he said if you're only just sending an email like that, and that's actually one thing I was doing. I think a lot of people do. You're sort of not saying, hey, are we working together or not? It's an excuse, and it's also prompting a response. But it's not that clever, as you may think, or as I thought. He said if you say, so do you have any questions for me about the proposal? Basically what you're saying to the lead is, hey, is my money ready yet? So I researched how can I actually add some value to my follow-up. And one good tip I saw, and it makes sense for me as a content marketer who already is constantly creating content for companies as well as for my own brand, or sharing content for my my clients. This one appealed to me. You could, when you send an email, make it personable. Have your own style. Don't be just like a robot, hi, just following up. Be like, hey Tim, how's it going? Blah blah blah. Don't just go. Don't make it try to establish a relationship, and add some content. You could say, hey, I wanted to share this with you. Here are some tips that you could use for depending on what the situation is. Maybe here's some great gardening tips. Let's say this is you're a landscaper, or if you do marketing like me, here's some great content, great 5 tips for Instagram. Something actionable, giving away something free. I think it would be great if it's your own content, or you could share an article or a video from somewhere else. It's easy. It shows you're thinking of them. It's interesting. They can get some value out of it. And then at the bottom, you can ask about the proposal. And then they feel like you're still giving them value, and they feel like you give them value. They feel like, oh, I got something interesting from this person. Don't just send anything generic. If you know the person has a specific interest in something, then share that with them, or come up with your own tip. Make it personal, make it friendly, and give something of value, give something away that they can use or benefit from. And then ask, you like that idea? I think you do. If you have any other suggestions about how to add value in your follow-ups, then please don't hesitate to leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a good night.